Exactly 10 years, 2 months, and 30 days ago, a tragic accident happened here on the Harbour Road in St. Michael. It claimed the life of a 19-year-old university student when a vehicle struck her and her two friends as they were walking along. She died on the spot. A 26-year-old single mom who was traveling in the vehicle was terribly injured. Fast forward to today, those victims and their families are still living through the agony of that accident. One too many cases of people driving recklessly on our roads in Barbados and driving without insurance. That was the subsequent discovery that the vehicle involved in the accident, it was not insured. I'm Stacey Russell. This is the latest edition of NewsPULSE, looking at how the lives and livelihoods of people are badly affected by the actions of road users who are operating motorized transport recklessly, including driving without vehicular insurance. In 2013, police charged the young driver of the uninsured car with the killing of the University of the West Indies student Rachel Pilgrim. In 2023, the Barbados Police Service, no longer called the Royal Barbados Police Force, is still battling with risk takers.
We recognize there are several vehicles out there that don't have insurance. Looking at the stats over the years, we can only look for the ones that we have indeed come across and prosecuted. There's several others that might get away for various reasons. So they come to our attention through accident investigations or through checks, vehicle checks. They may come to our attention. But there are several others we believe who may be out there traversing the roads and the streets without having at least third-party insurance. And that's cause for concern, certainly for the police service.
The true number of uninsured vehicles on the streets in Barbados not subject to accident investigations is not fully known.
As Mr. N said, we discovered that a lot of persons are involved in accidents or collisions are not covered by third-party insurance. Sometimes we also receive information through members of the public or through the insurance company who highlight to us that that some persons have canceled their insurance or for one reason did not renew their insurance. So as a result, that information is sent to the police for us to investigate. And when we investigate, most of the time, some people did not renew their driver's license or their insurance. So as a result, we place it before the court for prosecution once the vehicles are seen on the road.
And the police are not letting up. More people are being charged with insurance offenses.
What I can tell you is that that is the amount of people have increased put before the court, but it's up to the judiciary who determines if persons are convicted for those offenses.
Lawmen are stressing the importance of road safety and the need for those operating motorized transport in particular to adhere to established laws.
We are about safety and safety on the road network. Far more people, almost everyone, is a traveler. In traffic management, you're either a pedestrian, a motorcyclist, a car driver. We all traverse the streets of Barbados. And we want to make sure, yes, things will happen, accidents will occur, and people will be injured. And sadly, there will be fatalities. We want to ensure that should that happen, that persons who are injured can be compensated in the best way. We enforce the law, and the law requires every driver of a motor vehicle to have at least third-party insurance if you're going to bring that vehicle on the road. So it's mandated by law, so we don't have a choice. Once you have a vehicle and you have it on the road, it must be insured for that particular thing. And it's our role as law enforcement officers to see that that's done.
What Mr. N said basically is that according to the Road Traffic Act, Section 37(1), it requires that all road users, persons who cause persons to use vehicles or permitting to use a vehicle on the road should be at least have the basic third-party insurance. And once that person is not covered by third-party insurance and is involved in an accident or collision and cause it, they may be liable. They'll be liable for that person's injuries. They'll be liable for replacement of a vehicle. They'll be liable for a person's compensation in relation to their medical bills. And if that vehicle is not insured, then it's the onus then on that person that injured to sue to recover for the loss of the vehicle, damage to their property, or for their medical bills, and financially for the loss of use, having been away from work, which can be a burden on that person.
No one should expect to be excused.
There are many arguments, certainly for interacting with drivers on a daily basis as to why they do or why they don't have certain things through accidents, whatever. There are a number of explanations. Persons often say, economy, you're not working, or there's a need to transport someone at home who may be ill, who may be underage, you have children, and there are various hardships that they point out to. And some say, we're insured, but because the insurance, various reasons. What we try, we listen, and we try to say, well, look, it's mandatory. We don't make the choice as to, we allow you to or not. The law says that you must have insurance. You must review your options in terms of leaving that vehicle at home. Whatever options there is other than bringing that vehicle on the road. Because chances are, if you do bring it on the road, you're going to make your situation way worse if you become involved in an accident. Having to go to court, having persons fatal or serious injuries to another person, another innocent person, you don't want that. So it could be a mixture of different issues that they give or they cite for being on the road without insurance. And none of them legally are correct or that doesn't satisfy the situation. You're making matters worse if you take that chance.
The General Insurance Association of Barbados is supporting police observations that more and more drivers seem to be traversing the roads without motor insurance.
We are getting, unfortunately, more frequent situations where at accident scenes, our clients are saying that vehicles are hitting them and people are running away and leaving the damaged vehicles. Suspectingly because they have no insurance, or sometimes you hear people say that the vehicle is involved with an accident, and then before any authorities will turn up on the scene, the vehicle leaves or somebody comes and picks up the damaged vehicle. And in an attempt, we suspect to avoid, the authorities finding out that they're driving either without a proper license or they're driving without insurance on the road. So it's a worrying trend, and one we hope that we have to, as a country, curb this type of behavior.
Inspector Lane emphasizes the possible punishment for those chance takers.
Any person who drives or causes a vehicle to be used on the road must be covered by third-party insurance. However, if that person is placed before the court for driving a vehicle without any third-party insurance, the law also prescribes penalties. A person and the penalties that the judiciary may, I cannot speak for the judiciary, but I'm just quoting what the law states, is that a person can be fined or confined or both. Their driver's license can be revoked or suspended, or they can be disqualified from holding a driver's license for a period of time.
In some cases, even with basic third-party insurance, vehicle owners are still required to do more.
When some person is driving your vehicle, make sure that person name is part of that insurance. Or it can cause your policy to be non-void. Make sure that person that is using your vehicle is a licensed driver, and that person is licensed driver for that class of vehicle. Those things affect the compensation if there's a person involved in an accident or collision.
The Barbados Police Service is confronting new challenges of policing the streets head-on.
It's changing times, and what policing was years ago when they joined the police force in the year 1990, they have changed tremendously. There are more vehicles on the road. There's a lot of influx of different cultures into Barbados. So the whole dynamics of Barbados as it relates to traffic and crime has changed dramatically.
And police are currently going all out to crush the modern trend of daredevil motorcyclists routinely pulling stunts up and down public highways.
Right now, there's an operation their operation, a continuous operation into the bad driving and the bad habits of those motorcyclists on the highway. And as you mentioned earlier, you will see some results in which only between Saturday and Sunday last week, we have 13 motorcycles in custody, and the week before, we took one in the area of Spikestown. So we have about 14 motorcycles, and it's continuous. Every day we have a one-on-one or one-on-two. So it's a continuous effort in trying to suppress these bad habits by those motorcyclists on the roads of Barbados. And from our investigations, it shows that most of those vehicles, those motorcycles, are not insured or licensed. So we are appealing to you and the public that if you have any information that assists us in capturing those motorcycles or the persons who own those motorcycles, you can contact the police at the hotline. And the number is 467-2625, or you can use 429-8787 or 1-800-TIPS. Your information will be strictly confidential.
While the Barbados Police Service is doing all it can to crack down on people driving on the streets without their vehicles being insured, they're asking all class of road users, including pedestrians, to play their part in ensuring that they keep our roads safe, that they keep themselves safe.
Just like drivers on the road, drivers on the road must pay attention to the road signs. We ask members of the public to also pay attention, all road users to pay attention to the traffic laws, the traffic rules, use the rules of the road, use sidewalks, try to avoid at night, there are pedal cyclists riding at night without lights, which we take some action on that, and to avoid wearing dark clothes at night, walking in twos and threes along the road, use pedestrian crossings where they are applicable, and things like that.
In relation to the motorcyclists, and not only that, but road safety in general, we all have choices, and like you said, with choices, there are consequences. Yeah, we can use our discretion with certain things, but driving without insurance is a very serious matter, and it's something that we would like to see our numbers down when we interact with victims of accidents and whatnot. We want persons to do not bring your vehicle on the road if you do not have a policy of insurance. If you cannot afford it, you bring it on the road when you can. But it's not worth the effort to take a chance and become involved in a collision which may be really bad, and you pay for, persons will pay with their lives.
Make sure that your vehicle is insured, that the person that is driving your vehicle is licensed to drive your vehicle, that the person has a driver's license to drive your vehicle. And the reason being is that if a person was never issued a driver's license, never took a test to show some level of competency, and they drove your vehicle without insurance, most likely they will find some difficulty in compensation from the insurance company for that person.
Tara Aline, the single mom who was traveling in the fateful uninsured car on March 17, 2013, is now 36 years old. She accepted a ride home after a local nighttime cruise off the Bridgetown port on the famous Jolly Roger. She had missed her prearranged transportation after the boat returned to shore later than scheduled.
Without, going through all of the details, if you just had to say in a nutshell what happened to you 10 years ago, how would you generally describe it?
It was a hard, life-changing experience. I think that's the best way I could put it.
Hard, life-changing experience. And that hard, life-changing experience was a vehicular accident.
That claimed the life of a young girl, injured 2 more, put me in the hospital for 5 weeks, and just to explain it as a vehicular accident, just a vehicular accident. We have seen so much vehicular accidents in my time, but to live it, it was more than just an accident. It really really was devastating. Like, so much lives changed. So much people was in pain for a long time. So much mothers had to be coming to hospital, you know, like every day. One lady, her mom had it harder than my mom, and that's the truth. You know what I mean? So when I study it, when I look at it, when I go back to it, I try my best not to see it as just an accident, you know, because it changed a lot of lives. It wasn't purposely done, I don't think. But to see it as an accident, you know, my son got into an accident this year and it was bad, but he's alive, you know what I mean?
You were 26 years old at
26.
the time. And you
26.
said just now that this occurrence changed many lives. How did it change your life?
Well, physically, the pain is there. Can't get rid of from that. Mentally, I've been in and out of depression. Financially, I have suffered. I'm still suffering. So, emotionally, I just try to make it, you know? Stay positive, get up every day, and thank God that I'm crazy.
What were you doing before this accident in terms of working?
I was a bartender, but I would actually walk off of the job. One of the biggest regrets I have. The Friday I had went to the workplace and my boss was talking to me and he was like, you know, I shouldn't have done that, I should come back and what's I was like, you know, I can think about it. And then got the next day I went to a cruise and everything just changed. It was just gone. The opportunity, everything was just gone.
And what about your son? You mentioned your son just now. How old was he at the time?
He was 12, 13. Well, about going 13. It's going to be 23 and it's 10 years ago, so.
Wow.
12, 13.
So he was relatively new to secondary school, quite a number of life changes, you know, going through puberty and all of that. How did he respond? How did he cope? Or still trying to cope?
Still trying to cope. Honestly, he has, you know, he has been pushing to growing up fast. Because for a lot of things, he's got to do a lot of things for me. Most of the time, if I can't get my own transportation to get around, he's got to go and deal with everything. So, and that was happening from the time he was, you know, in secondary school. So basically, he had to grow up fast. And I think it impacted him in everyday life. You know what I mean? Like, he see life a little different than I would like you to see it.
What is a typical day like for you? You say you get up every day, you thank God you're alive, you thank Him you're not crazy, you're grappling with your emotions, not being able to work the way you want to work, taking care of your son, taking care of your mental health, your physical state. What is a day like for you? What are you experiencing every day?
To see, honestly, just surviving. That's what the experience. Like, if I get through the day and I wake up to see another day, then I get through the day. You know, like, honestly, I have went out my way to better myself since my accident.
Tell me about that.
I did a bar course because that's what I wanted to do. I love working and behind a bar.
Okay.
And pain is more than me, so, you know, I applied and I got through for the evening course. It was once a week, and I used to get on the bus, me and my cane, and go to class. once a week. And I actually got through it. I passed and I got my certificate. 'Cause at that time, I was new to my accident and I had all of these positive stuff going on in my head. Like, I'm going to be back on my feet and I'll be able to work. And, you know, I wanted to better myself in the profession of bartending. So that's why I went ahead and did it. But with the pain in my feet, well, basically my leg, one leg, it's difficult. It's very difficult, but I have tried many times over.
Okay.
Even this year.
It's good to know that you're not giving up.
I can't. I really can't. You know, as long as I got breath in my body, I really can't. I have anybody else is what I mean. You know, well, my son is to age to work, but basically he's my son. I shouldn't be doing it for him, so I can't.
Now let's go back a little to the accident. What was the outcome of things, you know, when the dust settled? Were you able to benefit from any kind of insurance? What kind of financial assistance would you have received?
Well, back then, I couldn't get anything from insurance because unfortunately the car wasn't insured.
Which car? The one you were traveling in?
Yes, the car that I was traveling in, it wasn't insured as it was told.
Okay.
It wasn't insured.
How did you find this out?
Most of my information I found out being on the hospital bed with doctors and nurses talking and people talking about it. And then when I came home and my mom started to try to reach out to find out what was going on and stuff, like if there was anything, because it was like it literally spent 5 weeks on the hospital bed. And at a point in time, I couldn't even get my surgery because they wanted insurance and they wanted me to pay for my surgery.
Right.
So that's how we found out. Like we literally had to go and try to figure out what was going on, and then we found out he wasn't insured, and then it wasn't the money to get the surgery. And I don't know, we did a article, and thankfully the next couple of days I was in surgery.
Right.
So that's how I got my surgery and was able to then come home with my family. And from there it was just learning everything that took place, who was driving, what happened, and everything. Like getting a better understanding. You know, when I was in hospital I was getting threats. I had no idea what was going on, but I was getting threats. So honestly speaking, it's only after I came home after the first surgery that allowed me to come home to my family. My mom then started to try to figure out what was going on, and there was nothing.
How did that make you feel? I mean, obviously
at the time, because I wasn't aware of the possibilities of how that go, like insurance, because at that time, to be honest, I did not know how insurance on cars go and the possibility of getting into an accident and being able to get funds, because that's what you're paying insurance for, and getting the surgery, and I did not know that. So after I learned everything, then I decided to invest in insurance for myself.
What kind of insurance did you
Life
take out?
insurance. Okay. So that if anything was to ever happen to me, my son would be okay.
And do you still have that in force?
I try every day, every month I try, because in the end of the day, getting into that accident, being on the hospital bed and hearing I couldn't get the surgery because it had to, you might need to pay. Like, it teach me that even though, yes, people had a lot of issues with insurance, I even had one, but in the end of the day, insurance is impossible. It's possible to make better for you if you survive and your offsprings. You know, so it don't take much to just pay your bill.
Now, I see that you're very emotional here today.
Because
and when I asked you earlier how you felt, I meant how you felt about discovering there was nowhere for you to turn. There was no recourse for you to get some funding to at least remedy your body and then to begin to remedy the rest of your life. How did that make you feel initially?
I think that's the most I have felt all through these 10 years. Anger, hurt, sadness. Why me? You know, why not me? Because at a point in time, I wish, you know, that I was the one that was gone. So,
You've actually felt
so, I just, every day is a lesson. Every day I try my best to be more positive because so much is gone in my head. Like what could have been? You know, you never know. So it's be hard. That's how I feel. I feel like my life hard. Like that's how I mean. If I made different choices, if people made different choices by paying and making sure that the vehicle was right. If I did decide to not walk off my job and go back to work because that's something so trivial upset me. If I did say no to my girlfriend, that turned out to not be my girlfriend anymore. She started speaking to me the same day in the hospital. I never spoke to her since then. And I leave my home to go with her to that cruise. So it's a lot. What if I did do things different? You know, like if I had the insurance before, you know, things would have been so hard. I wouldn't have to lean to people. I wouldn't have to get interviews. I wouldn't have to say things to the people and ask for help. I appreciate it. God knows there's so much people that helped me through the years, especially in the first couple of years when they tried to get my surgery. And I appreciate it so much. But I wish I could just do it for myself. And that's me. I'd rather do it for myself. You know, I understand why you're doing this. And I know that I'm gonna have a choice. But I'd rather do it for myself. You know? I'd rather do it for myself. And that's the truth. To God. That's why I keep trying. I keep trying and then I give up. I can't give up. That's it.
Who is your biggest help right now? You mentioned mommy earlier.
My son, my mom gone. My dad gone. It's just me and my son. And whoever God put in my way to help me through it. My landlord, you know, like through these 10 years, I have learned that God do not show up. But he just saying that way he's still here. You know what I mean? That's why I can still breathe air and I can still get up and move and I can still put plans in place to try to get out of the situation I'm in. Because God don't come, but he just said, you know what I mean? And that's how he survived.
What about government?
The government, NIS invalidity benefits. That was my main income. The invalidity benefits from the government.
So it was a good thing that at least you were paying your NIS whilst you were working. You did make some good choices. You did. Now, you talk about the surgery that you had to get after.
So much surgeries, but yeah.
How many did you have now?
If I count it right, I think it was in all 5 but 2 major surgeries. The first one that put the metal in to allow me to come out, to be able to get out of the hospital. And then the last one was to fix the fact that the metal was too long. So it was to push up into my hip bone. So it was to give me a lot of, well, still being pain, but it was to be way more pain. So I literally had to keep walking with a cane to take off some of the pressure off of my foot so it don't hurt as much. So the last surgery, that was September 2015, the government, well, basically the article that was put out for me allowed me to be able to get assistance from so much people. First Caribbean, thank you. So much people, you know, that invested into my last surgery that was supposed to make things better, that shorten the rod and take out the extra screws. But apparently what they're saying is that don't care, even if they remove the metal now from my leg, if I go ahead and get the third major surgery, I will always be in pain.
What would you ideally like to achieve with the rest of your life?
To get back in the world, to be able to make my own money, get my own home, be able to keep food in my cupboard and my bills paid. That's all I want.
What kind of job would you like to do? What do you think you would enjoy doing once your body would let you do it?
A bartender.
You'd go back to bartending?
I would go straight back into that industry. I love it. I don't know why. I guess it's the personality of meeting new people and making a drink that people love, and it's like, oh my God, you made this. It tastes so good, and you get to interact with people more on a friendlier basis because they're actually coming to you because they want to just relax.
I want to raise one more thing before we go. Obviously, if you were able to benefit from insurance money, it would help to make your life easier. There are less things you would have to have worried about.
Yeah. But I don't know if it would make my life easier, but
you would still be in this physical state,
situation.
perhaps in this mental state.
That's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, me paying insurance for myself on my life to make a better life for my son is a choice I made. You know what I'm saying? When they die, who told me that money can make a better life for him? Because at the end of the day, who told me he's going to be able to deal with the idea of losing his mom? But it still don't take away the fact of how important it is that at least he have a choice with financially to help him through it. That's what insurance is a comfort zone, you know, to help you literally take care of anything that happens that is outside of your will, your being, your control. So at the end of the day, if you see it that way, then you will see the benefits of just doing what's the right thing. Just do the right thing, you know?
And for those people who might see you on those days when you're having a relatively good day, even if you're walking with your cane, but you're able to get out and get a few things done.
I don't walk with a cane anymore, thank God. I really don't. I try my best not, I mean, I should, but I don't. I try my best not to allow myself to go back to that mental state of a cane. A cane as a young lady, it drives you, but me, you know? Like, it had me, I feel like I achieved something by not having to walk with the cane. So, thank you for that. I have been places, even on the public van, which I have family members that would say, oh, you hate to catch the van. Yeah, I do. If I get on a van, nobody's going to look at me and know that I shouldn't be standing up. No one. I have to stay up because nobody's going to get up and say, oh, I'm going to give this young lady a seat. She has an injured leg. She shouldn't stand up. She can't bear to be tugboat, you know, like no one. So every time I leave my home and people look at me, people see a normal person, and I love that. I do love that. Like, that makes me happy. You know what I mean? So when people see me on the road, that is a good day. I'm happy. I'm actually out there doing something, probably paying a bill, buying food, you know, or my son tell me come and go up on the beach. Like, that's a good day.
I really appreciate you inviting me into your home and talking with me so openly, even revisiting some of your scars with me. What is your final word?
Thank you, Barbados. A couple of years ago, I would have been worse off, you know? And I'm in a way better position physically than I was 10 years ago. But financially, mentally, emotionally, I think that it's not that hard to just either invest in an insurance company that you know have a plan that you could afford, or a way that you can pay so that you will always be covered, so that when you have to step out on the road and get into your vehicle, you're actually considering all the rest of the lives that it is for you. Because a simple accident could change the life of so much people.
Thank you, Tara.
Thank you too.
Thank you. I'm going to give you a hug.
Thank you so much for coming. It's so nice meeting you.
I didn't want no money. I told the lawyer I don't want no money. All I wanted to hear is sorry. That is all.
Rachel Pilgrim's family continues to grieve for her. Killed on the spot at 19 years old when that uninsured driver plowed into her and her two friends as they walked along Harbour Road in St. Michael. No amount of money can appease their loss.
Because I knew it was an accident and somebody should have told me sorry. I feel somebody should have told me sorry. I am so sick. Somebody should have told me sorry. That's all I wanted, somebody to tell me sorry. Because I knew it was an accident and somebody should have told me sorry as a mother. And it makes me real angry at a day like today.
Too distraught to speak on camera, her mother Jacqueline reflects on Rachel's absence, sobbing at the mention of her name.
I can't move on.
You can't.
When I say I can't move on, I mean like I study Rachel like every day. Even when I'm in my bed sometimes or I home by myself, I just still cry.
The man who was charged with Rachel's death is now dead too.
When he passed away, I am very sorry for the way I behaved. But I only behave like that because no one ever told me sorry. So I am sorry for the way I behaved after he passed away. I am very sorry.
When do you think you would get over losing her at 19 years old?
It's a really hard question. I can't. I have to live with that until I die. I can't. I cannot. Mm-mm. Can't get over that. Can't. Mm-mm. I ask God for strength. I ask you for strength every morning I get up. I ask you for strength. I say, Lord, give me that strength. so I could get up and go on and do what I have to do through the day. I really do ask God for strength. I really do. And He really gave me the strength. Even if I sad, even if I hurting, I still get up and go to work with a smile on my face.
Rachel's family and friends visit her grave at Coral Ridge Memorial Gardens in Christchurch every so often.
We go on Christmas, her birthday, and on the day she was killed. We just go there, we just sing, and we just say, Rachel, we know that you're watching over us, Rachel. And I always break down because I can't help. Can't.
What do you sing? What kind of songs?
Oh, God. I just sing for Rachel all the time. I didn't know today would be your last.
How does the tune go?
Didn't know today would be your last. That I'd have to say goodbye to you so fast. I'm so numb I can't feel anymore. I'm praying you just walk back through that door and tell me that I was only dreaming. You're not really gone as long as I believe. There will be another angel around the throne tonight. Love lives on inside of me, and I will hold on tight. It's not my place to question, only God knows why. I'm just jealous of the angel around the throne tonight.
Do you think any good could come of this? What happened to you? What happened to your family?
Yes, please. What could come of it for me is connecting to the boy mother.
You would like to connect with her?
Yes, please.
You would like to meet her?
Yes, please.
And besides telling her sorry for how you would have behaved when her son passed, what else would you like out of that connection with her?
I would just like to hold her, squeeze her, cry on her shoulder, and let she cry on mine.
You think that you can both find some solace in sharing your grief,
Yes, please.
sharing your pain?
Yes, please.
And Jacqueline has a message for those willing to break the law.
I will say to them, remember, you have family too. And those family walk the road. So you have to set an example for other people. So do not drive without insurance, do not drive without license. Because remember, what you do, gonna come back. What you do wrong to people, gonna come back to haunt you or your family or your children. Do not go on the road driving without license and insurance. Because when people's children die, it's very, very hard to look for money to bury them, especially when they are not working.
Manager at the Barbados Association for the Blind and Deaf, Elviston Maloney, knows firsthand the bit of difference an insurance payout can make after an accident.
30% liability the company said they will undertake. The other 70% liability was up to me.
Blind in both eyes since a child, he was knocked down by a car years ago. He says it is possible that his disability was taken into account when the insurance company only accepted 30% liability for their clients' actions.
By the time I took expenses out of it, which would be medical expenses and all that, because when I got the reports, some of the reports I received didn't say much of anything. It was like, yeah, you got reports, but those reports did not say, well, the extent of the damage and all that. So my attorney had to take the action of sending me to other doctors. I even ended up seeing Dr. Crookendale, who, as we all knew at the time, was a plastic surgeon, to get a good report in terms of what really was the outcome. So expenses for Dr. Crookendale and another doctor I had seen, along with legal expenses and so on, were deducted. So by the time all of those fees were taken, I got something like $5,000, somewhere in that vicinity.
He would not trade his good health for any amount of compensation, but knows the value of vehicular and other insurance.
Insurance is one of those, let me use this word, necessary evils, for lack of a better word. And I use that phrase liberally. But at the end of the day, so yes, insurance does help you to help cushion some of the impact against loss, whether it be property loss or otherwise, personal loss, But at the same time, and you buy into insurance for that purpose. Now, I'm also conscious of the fact that insurance and any business, the primary objective is to make money. But I also know that one of the reasons why you offer insurance is because you want to help people out of their financial difficulties in certain circumstances. So I see insurance as critical.
Government's new electronic vehicle registration system is the latest project being implemented by the Ministry of Transport, Works and Water Resources to clamp down on anyone who believes they can drive on these countries' roads without vehicular insurance. In fact, the Chief Licensing Officer, Mr. Virgil Knight, has a stark warning.
We'll be coming for you. We are putting systems in place with the Barbados Police Service, along with my transport inspectors, and we are seeking ways and means of how we can deal with the problem currently on our streets. Barbados Licensing Authority vehicle examiners usually visit scenes of serious and fatal accidents. Last year, I think we had about 4 serious accidents where one of the vehicles were not insured. I think in one instance, we had one vehicle that was not even registered. This is a serious thing, as it is not, first, it's against the law to be on the road without insurance, and to be on the road with an unregistered vehicle, that's against the law. But the other side of that is when you cause injury to the third party, then that person is going to be suffering, maybe out of money, and their family is suffering as a result. And then if there's no insurance, then they'll have to turn around and sue you. If you're a man of cloth, then I can understand the horrors and pains that those families will have to go through. So the thing is that the insurance is supposed to provide some coverage for yourself as well as the third party in the event of an accident.
The new electronic vehicle registration, or EVR system, now facilitating the tagging of vehicles at 3 locations, is an upgrade to a previous system.
The system before dealt with, basically it was registration and a registration card that was placed on the windscreen. This carried your weight, the fee, your expiry period. And for commercial vehicles, it would then carry the description of that vehicle. Unfortunately, that system had its flaws. So we were looking, and we visited Bermuda to investigate a system that they had implemented recently. And we realized that that system is the way to go for Barbados, saying that Bermuda is also a small country like ours. So here we are today, trying now to implement the electronic vehicle registration system. The electronic vehicle registration as it is an electronic system which will monitor our roads 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days in any 1 year. So that's a system that will assist us in monitoring our traffic, monitoring and also helping us with persons breaching the laws. So persons without road tax, persons without insurance, persons speeding, we can capture those things from that system. So the system was put into place to make sure that we have a safe environment for all on sundry. That is the pedestrians, other road users. So it's to make sure that we minimize the accidents and that sort of thing on our roads. So yes, it is a need at this time to be put in place to assist and control what is actually happening on our roads today.
Portals around the island that will detect the radio frequency identification tags placed on vehicles during the EVR process will not be the only means of monitoring vehicles.
There are handheld devices which should be deployed to the Barbados Police Service. There are also some handheld devices that will be deployed to the Barbados Licensing Authority Transport Inspectors. These devices would assist these officers, both the Barbados Police Service and the Barbados Licensing Authority Transport Inspectors, to verify vehicles whether they are valid, that is, either registered or have insurance. This would assist when you're outside the gantries. We're also having speed cameras installed at other locations so that when you pass the gantry, and as you say, you think you're safe, and you want to step on the RS, then we will capture you at another location. In relation to having the systems as electronic and monitoring, it provides us with a safe environment for all. You want to have higher premiums. Actually, the insurance premiums, once the accident rate comes down, those premiums should also come down. Makes life easier for all of us. It allows everybody to live in a comfortable and use the roadways in a safe manner.
The Chief Licensing Officer explains how the free EVR system works after a vehicle is registered for the first time with the Barbados Revenue Authority for the established fee.
The initial registration of a vehicle, that is, you being the first owner of this vehicle or being the new owner of this vehicle, either an imported one or a second-hand one. Then what happens is that you will pay, once it's registered private, you'll pay $400 for that. That information then is captured in the database, in our vehicle registration database, and that then uploads or updates of a database that is used by the EVR centers so as to make sure that that information is pulled and placed on the tag for the tagging purposes. The chassis number on the vehicle is verified from your insurance document and looking at the vehicle. Once that has been done and all is well, we then scan your documents because you have to bring ID, proof of address, and your insurance. So we verify the information on the vehicle from the insurance. Then we scan the documents as provided. And once all that is done and everything is okay, then we will tag the vehicle. And once that tag is on the vehicle, then we will test that tag to make sure it's working. And once that is the case, then we'll give you a certification letter that everything was good, and you will be on your way.
The message is clear. In the midst of pain and suffering caused by any accident, vehicular insurance coverage goes a long way in helping to cushion the financial burden that victims and their families face having to endure such encounters. Plus, it is mandated by law that all vehicles are insured before they can be driven on our roads. The police are certainly doubling down on their efforts to deal with risk takers, and the government's new electronic vehicle registration system is meant to monitor and ensure that all who are operating motorized transport on our roads are doing so well within the traffic laws. This to ensure that all road users are kept safe. For CBC, I'm Stacey Russell.